Good morning. Well, I never got rained on again yesterday evening. Once it turned about 7 o'clock, all the thunderstorms all around, they just all dissipated all at once, just like magic. Clear skies all night, clear this morning. It's just that it's super humid and there's dew on everything. My sleeping bag's all soaking wet, the usual, just like that. But I'm not worried because we'll be able to dry everything out later because we are hitting the town of Rice Lake today. And I'm planning on taking a 0 for tomorrow. So we got lots of time to rest and dry everything back out again. Try not to touch anything as I'm going through these bushes here. So I'm gonna get soaking wet in about a second if I brush up against anything. As far as mileage is, I think we got about 5 miles of through the woods here. Then we hit a road, then 3 miles down the road. And then we'll go right through the town of Haugen. And there's a chance there might be a little breakfast cafe there, so we can get some breakfast again maybe. So that'll be the first stop. Then another 3 miles or so down the road is the closest point where we can get into Rice Lake, but it's still about 4 miles away. So it's either a 4-mile walk or we gotta try to hitch in. I've been seeing more bear tracks in the mud this morning. They're a little faded, so maybe a day or two old. I didn't stop to get a shot of them because I don't know how well it would turn out, and the mosquitoes are eating me alive, so I just gotta keep moving. It's crazy how dense the bear populations are out here. I think I've seen prints every single day out here since I left Luck. I just took a swig from my water bottle and it just reminded me how nasty my water today currently is. All the water sources yesterday was all stagnant, nasty beaver ponds. And it looked like there's no stream crossings or any fresh water for today. So I won't be able to get anything until I get to town. But the filters will filter all the nasty stuff out except for the taste. So if you've ever drunken beaver, muddy bog water, that's what I'm currently drinking between yesterday and today. It's a little foul. Walking right along the beaver dam. I don't see any beavers out this morning. Passing by a Boy Scout camp there. Those canvas tents look familiar. Heck yeah, scouting is awesome. Good to see everyone out doing stuff this summer. There's more of the scout camp. Looks like an old fake town setup thing. They must own a lot of acreage up here. And the lake too, maybe. This is Bass Lake. I got a lot of fond memories doing scouting up in Alaska. It was definitely a lot of fun. Here's where all your boating activities take place. Made it to the road. Road walking for the rest of the day, I think. In about 3 miles to the town of Haugen. I'm looking for a nice little breakfast cafe. There's 2 more of those big birds up ahead there crossing the road. Some kind of giant crane or something. I've seen a lot of them out here, and they're always paired up. There's a sign for the scout camp. L.E. Phillips Scout Reservation, Chippewa Valley Council. As I'm doing this lonely road walk, I was just thinking about the mental aspect of hiking. a lot of people don't like hiking alone, whereas I do, so I think that part of it makes it easier mentally for me on hikes. I think my military experience also helps. I'm a little more worldly, I guess, than average. But I've seen a lot of people like get off trail and stuff because they can't handle the mental side of things. Like physically, this trail is easy compared to everything else I've done. There's really not any ups and downs. You go up a little hill for a little bit and then back down. But there's other things that mentally can beat you down. Like yesterday, heavy rain and stuff. Nobody likes hiking in the rain. Definitely miserable. But the sun will come out. You can dry some stuff off. Wherever you're at on trail, you're only a few days from town. Get things situated, take a breather, and then re-tack it. Coming into Haugen, our town cemetery. A ball field. State champions in 21. There's our destination for this morning, Lona's Corner Cafe. Looks like a popular joint. Hopefully I can get a seat somewhere and try to stay out of the normal customers' way of my stink. Done with a great breakfast, getting back on trail. According to the apps, the trail is actually this little side street over there, about 100 feet to my right. But I'm gonna follow this because they parallel each other all the way down. And this is like a designated wide bike path. So instead of walking on a road, I'm just gonna follow this. I don't know why this is not designated as the main trail. But anyway, I had a good conversations with a couple of folks there in the cafe. I think people were excited to chat with me and that I was out hiking the trail and stuff. And one lady even picked up my tab, so that was awesome. We got about 3 miles or so, I think, on this. That'll get us to the closest point to Rice Lake, where we'll have to either walk it or try to hitch. It's at least 4 miles to the northern edge of Rice Lake, and where my hotel is at, I might have to do an extra mile on top of that. So 5 miles is a long way of walking that aren't trail miles, so I'll see what the hitching situation looks like when we'll get up here. More raspberry bushes. And are these ones the bearberries, possibly? There's Bear Creek we're crossing over. Yeah, I'd say this was definitely another old train line. Beautiful flowing water down there. I wish I could freshen up and get rid of my nasty beaver water. It's weird how they don't have you walking this trail. They want you on that road down there. This is much nicer. If I was spending another night out here, this is the point where I'd be laying all my gear out to dry it out. But we'll take care of that once we get into town. Well, this overpass is Highway 53. That's the road I was planning on getting into Rice Lake on, but I didn't realize this doesn't connect to it. Maybe we'll jump on the road to our left. I don't know if there's an easy place to hitch off of here from. I definitely don't want to walk 4 to 5 miles into town. Getting a hitch would definitely be easier. I'll figure something out. And this is our exit. That says Rice Lake is 4 miles. So the trail continues across the road through that parking lot. I see some restrooms up there. Yeah, I'm gonna probably utilize some facilities here. And there's enough traffic on this road. I think I can get a hitch into Rice Lake without issue from here. Hopefully see you in town in a little bit. Well, success. Here we are up in Rice Lake. Took about an hour to get the hitch. Lots of cars going by. It just took a bit to get the ride. And getting things going as quick as I can. I got all my gear splayed out. I'm trying to get stuff dried out from the dampness over the last couple of days. And I currently got laundry going. They got good laundry facilities here. I'm over at the Econo Lodge, and Wi-Fi is actually pretty decent as well. Currently getting the video uploaded. It looks like each one's going to take about an hour, and so based off my file sizes, that's not too bad. So, I'll probably just check back on the backside once we're done with laundry. I should have a video or two uploaded by then, and we might be getting hungry for maybe a late lunch / early dinner, so we'll check back on the backside of that. Well, laundry's done. I'm gonna leave everything to continue to dry out. It's time to go find some food. Gotta eat at a Culver's while I'm up here. Back in the room, that was a really good meal. Had the cheese curds with it, of course, and that was excellent. I think for now, we got half of the major accomplishments to do at a town resupply stop accomplished already with the laundry and everything. Getting videos going, so I'm not worried there. And I think we'll knock out the resupply run tomorrow for the 0 day. Kind of had a late lunch / early dinner, so I think by the time I'll be hungry again, it'll be bedtime. So I don't think I'm going to be going out and getting any more food. We'll just get up early and get a nice big breakfast in the morning. So I'll just check back in when anything else is going on. Well, I think this is going to bring us to the end of the day. I think it's about bedtime. I've just been getting tired, just resting and laying in bed here. It's time to fall asleep, it feels like. But I've just been working on figuring out planning for the next stretch, figuring out my resupply shopping needs so I can take care of most of that stuff right after breakfast in the morning. Because with the sun, it is hot this next week. I think it was 85 degrees when I went out to get that late lunch, early dinner, and you could definitely feel it. It was warm out there. So I think that's just gonna do it for tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and just sign off, get a good night's rest. We'll get up early. We'll take care of what we can in the morning, try to beat the heat, and figure out what else we're doing on the 0 day. Probably not much, but thanks for watching. I will see you in the morning. Good morning. Slept well enough last night. Feel like I could get some more sleep, but it's about 6 o'clock. There's a breakfast place literally right across the street that's just opening up, so I think we'll start there. I gotta do all my chores and running around first thing this morning as I can, as places start opening, because it's gonna be a hot one outside. And where the hotel is at, here at the Econo Lodge, walking to a resupply or shopping needs and other things, because I gotta hit up a Walgreens. They're like half a mile to a mile away from us, so it's a lot of walking to do. Got to get that done before it gets real hot outside. I think it's going to be like 85 degrees today. But first things first, at least the breakfast is real close, so we'll see you over there. Starting the day with Maxine's. Well, breakfast was really good. Now I gotta head about a mile north of town here to get to the Walgreens. I'm primarily looking for leukotape. Apparently my supply is extremely low. I think I got the leukotape equivalent that I need. I think that'll work. Right next door to the Walgreens is this big marketplace, Foods Mart place, so I think I can get my resupply run knocked out here. I'm looking for at least 4.5, 5 days of food, I think, to the next town. Back at the Econo Lodge, I think we got everything we needed. And here's what my resupply food looks like. Going with the muffins for some breakfasts. Snacks there. I had some leftover snacks, like I've still got half a bag of the trail mix and some other bars left over, so these just kind of finishing and topping up everything there. And then for dinners, 4 dinners, I'm going to break up the instant mashed potatoes and some of the tuna packets. So for now, I think we got all our major chores knocked out. I think I'm just going to relax for a little bit. One thing I do want to do later is kind of go over a physical health assessment. I've got a couple of aches and pains, mainly in my feet, and my overall thoughts of the trail, because we're about just shy of 100 miles in at this point. So we'll do that somewhere in the afternoon maybe, but I'll just probably check back once we're going out and trying to find some lunch to eat. Well, it's come up on noon. I'm not feeling too particularly hungry. No hiker hunger just yet. I'm not overexerting myself on this trail. I've got a little bit of extra snacks that I don't need to carry for this next stretch, so I think I'm going to snack on those for the next couple of hours, and maybe somewhere between 2 and 3 o'clock I'll just go out and find something for a late lunch, early dinner time frame like I did yesterday, and I think I'll just be fine with that. So in the meantime, I think we'll just talk about how I'm feeling and my impressions of the trail so far. As far as physically, I'm doing really well. Totally recovered from any soreness in the shoulders. My back's doing good. My legs are doing good. I feel like I have my trail legs for this trail. The only aches and pains I got are on my feet, and I think half of that's attributed to just the new shoes that I'm using, new style of shoe and stuff. This is, I can't remember the name of it, but the new oboes and stuff that I've been trying. One of the things, I've got a little red sore spot on the tops of my toes on my right foot, and I think that's just from how the shoe flexes when I step. It's just kind of tilting and putting pressure right onto the top of my toe there. So that's a little sore spot. I've also got a weird rubbing sore spot on the bottom of my left foot. I don't know what's causing that particularly. That one might just be attributed to hiking with wet feet for like 10 hours a day for the last 4 days coming into here. Whether my socks getting bunched up or something, your feet change shape when they're wet all day because they get all, wrinkly and pruned up and stuff. So I think that might be that factor. So I think that'll be fine over the next week, as it's supposed to be sunny and not as wet. And I think the last little sore, also on my left foot up near the ankle, is caused somewhere right at the top of the part of the shoe that kind of hugs against the ankle bone, is just a little bit positioned higher or something on just this left shoe. It's not doing it with the right foot, but it's creating a sore spot right underneath my ankle. And the fix for that might be, I might just have to cut out a little bit of the material inside the shoe itself. I think I might do that, but I don't want to overly damage the shoe and cut too much out of it. I'll kind of see how it goes. So in conjunction with those foot care needs, the last day at least, I think, hiking into Rice Lake, I was putting some Leukotape on my feet. And I've had this little plastic piece of tubing, and I use this to wrap the Leukotape around. And I've had this thing going since the, 3 or 4 years now. When I started the Appalachian Trail, I had about 5 spin arounds of Leukotape on here, and I've personally used so few of it, I never really noticed that it was getting lower and lower. Usually you're around somebody who needs Leukotape, and I would always cut off a piece and give it a square to somebody else. And when I started this trail, I had enough basically for just a 1 wrap around, so I never took too much attention to how little I actually had. So once I needed to actually put some on my feet to get to Rice Lake here, that's all I've got left. So buying this stuff at the Walgreens, this looked like the best option that they had. Definitely not Leukotape. It's supposed to be some sticky adherence to your skin, waterproof, generic stuff, but it's very soft and squishy, and I'm definitely gonna take this with me and be using it for the next couple of days until some of my feet pain go away. I don't want to have to keep my toes and stuff wrapped for like the next 1,000 miles, so I'll keep you guys informed as far as when those foot aches and pains go away. So I think that finishes up how I'm doing physically. Mentally, I'm doing just fine, 100% there. It's definitely a very isolated trail. I haven't seen a single other hiker out here. No section hikers, no through hikers. I know that there's people out here on trail doing sections and doing through hikes, but they're very few and far between, and I kind of like the isolation. I'm definitely fine being by myself. Other impressions of the trail, I think this trail is definitely suited better as a springtime or fall type trail, and that's mainly due to the bug factor. There's probably much less ticks and much less mosquitoes during those time frames. Just gotta wait until after the snow melts and then get started in like April or May or whatever time frame that would happen to be. In the September-ish time frame, probably gotta worry about hunting season out here is one of the factors, but otherwise, environmentally is the only challenges out here that I'm seeing on trail. It's unusually wet this year. I was talking with someone who has said the last couple of years was more of a dry year, and this year is just getting slammed with the high rains. Everything's kind of a little over flooded. So hopefully the next week or two or something, hopefully we're kind of at the end of the rainy seasons finally, and things can start drying out a little bit, the mosquitoes, and we'll start calming down, and we'll kind of see how it goes. Who knows what it's actually going to do. And as far as the ticks, I think I'm surprised. I knew that I would probably run into some ticks, but there's a lot. There's much higher numbers of them that I'm seeing out here. Multiple ticks. Every time you set your backpack down, you take a break, I see them crawling at my tent once I'm set up at night. They're not like coming out by the hundreds, but you see one here, you see one there, and you're like, there's a lot of ticks out here. Also a high number of bear activity out here. I've seen evidence of bear tracks when scat, I think every day since I left Luck, and then ran into the one mom and cub already up at the, I think it was the Straight River area, so that was fun. I guess at this point now I'm highly experienced with running into bears. I've run into 10, I think, on the AT, and a couple of grizzly bears up on the CDT, so I'm not afraid or scared of them. I don't have any bear spray or anything with me. Just make noise, scare them off, and don't linger in the area. Get out of there, and you should be just fine. So I think that's about it for now. All I can think of as far as my top thoughts of the trail. So far I'm loving it. It's awesome. It feels way more like the Appalachian Trail than being up in like the central northern states of the US, which is kind of weird and surprising. A lot of birds are familiar to the East Coast, a lot of distinctive bird calls. I'm not smart on what exact species they are, but definitely some familiar birds. The trees are a lot different, but the overall feel is very like southern Pennsylvania, with like a lot of the farm fields and stuff around that you're walking around, and just being dense in the tree foliage is a lot like, reminding me of areas of Virginia and stuff, I think. But I think that's about it for now. I'll catch you guys up in a few hours when I start getting hungry and looking for some more food, but I think that's going to be a bit. Otherwise, I'm still just kind of chilling and relaxing. Got nothing else going on. I just like lounging around and resting the legs on my 0 days. Well, it's now 3 o'clock. I think it's time to go find out if we can find some food. About a half mile down the road south of here is the Rice Lake Family Restaurant. I think we'll go try to find and check that place out. I think I'm gonna hit up the Culver's for my dessert. I feel like I gotta try it while I'm here. Well, made it back to the room. Gonna enjoy some mint frozen custard. This stuff looks awesome. So I'll check back on the backside. I think I just got a couple more things of note once I finish dessert, and then we'll sign it off. So I'll see you in an hour or so. Well, that was totally yummy. That hit the spot, definitely. So coming up, we got 5-day stretch to Cornell, but there's no lodging reservations we can get in Cornell, so it'll just be kind of an in and out quick stop. I'm gonna try to get there in the morning so we get breakfast, spend a couple hours. I gotta recharge all my electronics and do the resupply run for the next stretch. Getting there looks like no real opportunities to get into DCAs or anything, so it's gonna be stealthing in the woods the whole way. Makes that a little challenging. And the found number for a transportation services for getting back to trail, so I think it was called like Heartland Transportation. The earliest they could do was 10 a.m. for tomorrow morning, so I got that booked in, and we should be good to go. I'd like to get out there a little bit earlier. We try to be pushing some big mile days. I think it's something like 90 miles or something like that for this stretch. Try to push a couple of 20 days in there. We'll see how it goes, but I think that's it. I'll probably just go ahead and sign off here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one, kicking back on trail for the next leg.